Wandering I and then the ties that bind stop wearing thin within. You're in the moment now, when all that you've been blessed with is not enough. Is where the ground gets loose, is where the devils call you bluff. Tragic flaws, the desperate souls, the saints with feet of clay. Here's where sin becomes cliche. We'll walk through wilderness and washed the cloud by day, the burning sky into dawn. Have you forgotten who you are? Did you forget whose trip you're on?
That was accidental, but the message of that song speaks pretty clearly for itself. Now, some of you may be wondering why the week after Easter is Aaron talking about staying strong? Why is this song about holding on to what is firm when we're celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ? Now, we know that He is risen, but do we believe it?
That's true.
I mean that believing not in the sense that you understand the concept, but you live it. And you understand it through personal experience. Because knowing and experiencing are two completely different things.
That's right.
Now this last week I did a presentation with my classes. There's a quote in this book. It was talking about pastoral leadership and what it should look like. At the end of the chapter, he says, Jesus goes on ahead of his disciples like a commander leading troops into battle. The words he speaks are thrown back over his shoulders to the fearful and faltering. He enables and encourages them by leading them, not just by telling them. And they went on to compare Jesus to a leader of example, to a leader of experience. Not a general of knowledge who stands at the back yelling the commands to his troops to persevere, but one who leads. carries the weight so we can push forward. And that's so powerful and prominent because we just celebrated last week the resurrection of our Savior. And for me, it's been done so many times that sometimes it tends to lose its luster. You know, there's something so special and powerful about Easter Sunday. I think we lose the meaning so simply and so easily the week after it's gone. You know, hallelujah, Lord, you're risen. The next week, boom. And it's almost like the transition from Palm Sunday when people welcomed him into the city to the week after we had him crucified. We can't lose that. We can't afford to. We need to stay strong. And that's why I had that song up there. And the basic theme of what God's been giving this to me, He's been giving me this sermon for years, I just didn't know it. It's been building up over the last few months. It kind of all came together. And it's just been an interesting journey because when I was young, when I was about 10 or 11 years old, my parents got divorced. It was a messy situation and a troubling time. It was a hard situation. It was definitely one of the hardest things to ever work through. You know, I'm still dealing with stuff from that. And because of that, you get emotional damage, you get all that kind of scar tissue. I became a complete damage case, to be honest. And as I was up in Victoria, my mom and I were trying to reestablish and pick up the pieces of what just happened, what was going on, you know, and I'm trying to get back into the school system, and I really didn't care about what was going on. At a young age, I slipped into something I had no idea what it was. I slipped into depression. I had no idea what was going on, you know. I lost sight of who Christ was in my limited knowledge at the time. I lost sight of who I was. And I just didn't care anymore. Things that were important became unimportant. You know, it almost like the flavor of life was slowly losing its taste. The smells you endure every day and you bring in your experience were slowly fading away to nothingness. And everything just became blah. And for me, it wasn't a painful experience emotionally. I just didn't care because I couldn't feel anything. And that was the problem. And if there was pain, I at least experienced something. But the point where I was at, I felt nothing. So at the age of 11, I found myself standing in a bathroom with a hunting knife raised up to my throat because I thought, well, either one of two things is going to happen. I'm either going to do it and be done with this, or someone's going to walk in and I'll get that attention and maybe I'll feel something. Now, I was looking back now, I thank Christ because that was a terrible, terrible situation to be in. I haven't really told anybody about this because it's kind of a private, embarrassing thing. But there I am standing there with this knife. I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I just kind of almost issued a challenge to God. You know, I said that, you know, if somebody gives a, you know what, and have them come in here, you know, prove it to me. And my mom walked in. And she was so mad. And, you know, we worked past that. At that point, my mom and I were a couple of damage cases now trying to live in a small basement suite together. So you're trying to push through life's obstacles and deal with your own stuff and then deal with the other person's stuff, and there's no real space in this tiny little basement suite you're cramped into. And so one day, you know, it came down to the point of we had lashed out at each other. You know, I told her that I'd said some pretty terrible things. I just completely cut her down to the best that I could with my words. I put my full intent behind it, and I put all my hatred that I could muster up from the pain that I actually started to feel because of the divorce, and I pushed it forward into that. I tore her down. And she got upset. She told me I was a burden and a stress, and retaliation was her self-defense mechanism. And that began the parting of ways. And it was shortly after that that I came back here to live with my father. But the whole time I was down there, I knew something was wrong, something was off. This wasn't where I was supposed to be. I didn't care about God at that point. You know, I knew Him. I'd known Him for years. I grew up in a Christian home. Kind of had a relationship. I've had many experiences that I needed Him before that, but this wasn't one of those times. I was pushing away because He let this happen. So, my dad came, picked up all my stuff, and moved back out here.